Modern shotguns like this Maxus 2 will run a long time between cleanings, and that can lull you into a sense of false security because you really do need to maintain these guns to keep them working at their best. And you absolutely need to take care of them if they get wet. If you come back from a cold, wet hunt, you really need to take some care with your gun. First thing, not every gun is Cerakoted like this Maxus 2 is, and this gives you a lot of corrosion resistance. Most guns don't have that. You want to make sure you wipe a gun down before you put it in a case. If you put a wet gun, especially in one of these waterproof cases that's sealed, you bring it home, you'll have a gun that's orange with rust by the time you get it home. If the gun gets very, very wet, like if you drop it overboard, something like that, one thing you want to do is pull off the stock, check the recoil spring inside, make sure that that's clean, make sure it's dry, otherwise those will rust. And then take the gun apart. You don't need to go any farther than the manual tells you to take apart, but take it into its sub-assemblies here, wipe everything off inside, oil it. Remember always that less oil is way better than too much oil. The last thing you want to make sure you do is don't neglect the choke tube. Choke tube gets wet, it can rust into a gun. Make sure you take that tube out, wipe it off, clean the old grease or oil out of the threads, put new grease on, put it back in, and that way you won't have a stuck choke tube that'll cost you a couple $100 to remove. You take care of your shotgun. They say these modern guns are weatherproof, they've got synthetic stocks, they've got Cerakote coatings, but they're not impervious to the weather, and you do need to take care of them to keep them shooting their best.
Ducks Unlimited's Guns and Gear is brought to you by Tetra Hearing, built for hunters by hunters. Calls, wings, or triggers, hear the hunt like never before.